Hey everyone, this is Ryan DeGregorio, host of Mind Bending Astronomy. Thanks for joining me, and welcome to today's episode. Last time we visited the largest planet in the solar system, Jupiter, and today we're going to continue our tour and visit Saturn, arguably the most striking of all the planets, and probably because of its grand ring system. Jupiter also has some rings, but they're known as gossamer rings. They're so thin and tenuous that they really don't show up in images. But Saturn's rings are really conspicuous. And there are about 7 ring bands. So they're like clustered into little sections. But Saturn's rings aren't solid shapes. They're not like hula hoops orbiting the planet. Instead, they're lumps of rock and ice that are just orbiting by themselves. And they are kept in a plane. So they're sort of like moons, little moons of Saturn, only they're confined to a narrow plane around the planet's equator. Saturn has a lot of moons. I think 70 satellites, 70 natural satellites have been identified, and there could be perhaps more, just depending on the sophistication of our technology. There are also some of Saturn's moons that are in between the rings. These are called shepherd moons. And the reason they exist is they're in a gravitational resonance with the other lumps of rock and ice. So the bits that make up Saturn's rings are relatively small compared to some moons. But then you'll see a large spherical shape, much bigger than all the other ring elements, that are also in orbit. Saturn also has a moon called Titan, and it's one of the largest in the solar system. Titan, in fact, is the only moon in the solar system with an atmosphere. And the atmosphere is comprised of some hydrocarbons, some methane, some carbon dioxide. But it's so cold on Titan, on the surface, that water is frozen into rock as hard as metal. And hydrocarbons that are usually gas at room temperature are liquid. And so you have liquid lakes of like gasoline. So Titan's a pretty bizarre place. As for Saturn's clouds, Saturn is a bit like Jupiter. It's got the stripy pattern, and that's due to the Coriolis effect, which is the turbulence of these wind bands. And Saturn also has like a gold tan color, and although it has mostly hydrogen and helium in its atmosphere, there are traces of ammonia and phosphine, and that gives it this like orangey yellow color. Saturn's also tilted a little bit, just a bit more than Earth. Earth is about 23.5 degrees. Saturn is tilted at 27 degrees. And Saturn is quite far from the Sun. It's about 1 billion miles away. That's twice as far as Jupiter is on average. So as we get deeper into the solar system, some of these distances are going to become immense. And stick with us, for next time we're going to Uranus, a planet that's far more tilted than Saturn is. I'll see you then.